Hi students, good evening everyone. I hope all are doing well. Welcome to Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya. This is me Soorya, the chemistry faculty from Infinity Learn. And I hope I am perfectly audible. So those who are watching the live, just mark your attendance here. So here we are coming with the new session that is about the acid base and salts. We have already completed the one-shot revision as well as the complete revision of the chapter. So here I am repeating some of the repeated topics that is asked in the CBSE exam for this chapter, acid, bases and salts. So we have already studied the chapter, right? From the name itself, they are talking about the acids, what you mean by the bases, then how they are forming the salts, right? So you have studied the physical properties and chemical reactions of acids and bases. So let us see the important topics that we discussed in the CBSE examination or repeated in the CBSE examination. So first one is the conceptual or the theory questions. You can expect the question or the explanation questions from the acid, bases and salts concept. So the definition, they will be asking about the definition of acids and bases. So we need to identify the definition of acids, bases and salts, how salts are forming. Depending upon the acids and bases, we need to identify the nature of salts also. Then we have already studied the concept, acid-base concept depending upon the Arrhenius theory, right? Arrhenius theory, Bronsted-Lowry theory and the Lewis acid concept, Lewis acid and base concepts, right? So depending upon the, at least you must have an idea about the Arrhenius theory. So what do you mean by the Arrhenius theory of acids? So when dissolved in water, they will be forming the H plus ions, right? These are the Arrhenius concept of acids. Similarly, if they are dissolved in water, if they are providing the OH minus ion or the hydroxyl ions, these are known as the Arrhenius bases. So there will be more examples are given in our textbook. Clear? So this is about the, hi Vishal, good evening, welcome to the session. Hi Rimjim, good evening. So this is about the conceptual theory based on the question, based on the acid, base and salt. So we know about the Arrhenius theory, right? This Arrhenius theory in water, they will be providing H plus ion according to Arrhenius. Then if the bases, whenever they are dissolved in water, if they provide the OH minus ion or the hydroxyl ion, they are known as the Arrhenius bases. So at least you should have a proper idea about the Arrhenius concept of acids and bases along with the examples. Then what about the case of Bronsted-Lowry concept? How we can define acid and base? How we can define? So acids are the H plus donors, right? When they are donating H plus ion, they are known as the Lowry-Bronsted or Bronsted-Lowry concept of acids. Similarly, base are the H plus acceptors. Then one more theory is based on the electron pair, right? Electron pair acceptor as well as the electron pair donor. So we can define the Lewis acid as the, okay, you need to join our Telegram channel, Infinity Learn 9 and 10 Telegram channel. So they will provide the, after all the session, they will be providing the notes for the session. Okay, Vishal, what is the doubt? Is there anything doubt related to this chapter? So I have already completed the complete chapter for acid, bases and salt. It is already provided in our Telegram channel. You can join our Telegram channel. Then what about the case of Lewis acid? Lewis acids are the electron pair acceptor, right? Electron pair acceptor. So most common example is the BF3 molecule. Then bases are the electron pair donors. example, ammonia. Is that clear? You must have a proper idea about the definition for acids and bases. Based on the three different theories, right? The next topic is from the properties of acids and bases. We have already studied many reactions, right? Reaction with the metals, acids and bases reacting together, undergoing the neutralization reaction and so on, right? So we need to identify the properties of acids and bases along with their reactions. That's the another topic already repeated in the CBSE examination. Next, the question is asking from the complete chemical reactions. We have already studied the chemical reactions, right? So you may have confusion in the chemical reactions. So there is a simple trick to memorize the reactions. So generally, whenever these acid and base react together, they will combine to form the salt as well as water. So this is a memory trick. You need to identify the chemical reactions for any of the acid as well as the base. So for example, if I am asking about the case of sodium hydroxide, right? If I am treating with HCl, hydrochloric acid is the acid, plus sodium hydroxide, what will be the reaction? What will be the reaction? Anyone? So they will combine together to form their corresponding salt, right? So sodium will be, here it will be breaks at the Na plus and OH minus ion. This will be breaks at the H plus and Cl minus. So they will be, these H plus and OH minus will be combined together to form the water molecule, and the remaining anions and cations combine together to form the corresponding salt. So here Na plus and Cl minus combine together to form NaCl. Is that clear? The next reaction is based on the acid react with metal to form salt and hydrogen gas, right? So for example, if I am taking the H2SO4 as the acid, they will be treating with the any of the metal like, for example, zinc. They will be forming the corresponding salt ZnSO4 plus hydrogen gas. Then next one is the acid plus metal carbonate, right? If you are taking any of the metal carbonate, if you are taking the corresponding, okay. Similarly, you can memorize all the reactions given here. Is that clear? So that you can memorize the complete balanced reaction for the chemical reactions whenever they are treating with the acid, bases or salt. Is there any doubt in the reactivity series? So direct question is always asking from the textbook itself. So you can refer, you can refer from your textbook. You can identify any of the, if they are giving any of the acid and bases, you can provide the corresponding salt and water as a neutralization reaction. Now we are moving to the next topic, that is about the important salts and their uses, right? So after completing the chapter, before completing the chapter, towards the end of the chapter, we have already studied the common examples for the salts, right? Common salts. First one is the common salt, otherwise the sodium chloride. So we have already studied the method of preparation, right? Method of preparation. Many times they will be asking for the 2 marks question for the preparation of sodium chloride, and the properties, right? What are the properties and their common uses? So you can expect the either uses, preparation or properties of the any of the salts given here. First one is the common salt, next one is the baking soda, right? Sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. Again, their preparation, uses, and yes, equation for its decomposition is also very important. Their properties. The next salt we have studied about the washing soda, right? Sodium bicarbonate dot 10H2. So we know that this 10H2 is known as the water of crystallization, right? So we have already studied the method of preparation of washing soda from baking soda. A proper equation is given in our textbook, just refer from there. Then their uses, they are also very important. The last salt we have studied about the the last one is about the plaster of Paris, right? Plaster of Paris we have studied, which is used in the hospitals, right? Doctor will be preferred for the fractured bones, setting the fractured bones. This is known as the plaster of Paris, and this plaster of Paris is prepared from the gypsum. So you must have an idea about the chemical formula of gypsum itself. That is calcium sulfate dot 2H2, right? Only the difference in the water of crystallization over there. Clear? Then one more salt is there we have studied, that is the bleaching powder. Chemical formula is CaOCl2. Their uses, properties and preparations are very important. So while revising the chapter, you must have a proper idea about these important topics. So learn from the based on this idea, learn from the or revise the chapter. Okay, the next one is the pH and indicators, right? We have already studied the pH value. Depending upon the pH, we have studied the indicators, right? We have already studied the natural indicators, synthetic indicators, and the olfactory indicators, and so on, right? So we need to identify. Many times they will be asking in terms of the universal indicator and their pH scale. So we know that, right? How we can define acid, base, and salt depending upon their we have already studied depending upon the pH value, how we can define the acid, base, and salt, right? How we can define acid, base, and salt depending upon the pH value? Neelam, please share this session to maximum to your friends. So how we can define the pH value? There is the pH scale, right? There will be 7, then from 1 to 7, then 7 to 14. So from 1 to 7, we know that will be the acids, right? These are the acids, and these are the neutral substance. And from 7 to 14, if any of the substance which is having the pH greater than 14, greater than 7, they are known as the bases. Clear? So you can expect direct question from the identification of pH value, and you may have the idea about the pH of common substances. A proper table is given there for the milk, blood, HCl and NaOH, and lemon juice. And then one point is that in the case of milk it is acidic, right? Blood is again 7.4 is the pH, HCl is again acid, NaOH is base, the lemon juice is again acid, citric acid is present, right? So depending on the nature of the acid or base, they will be having the different pH value. Is that clear? So the next one is the how to test the solutions using litmus paper, methyl orange and phenol clean, right? These are the normal indicators we are using the terms. So we know that if they are turning blue litmus to red color, what is the nature of the substance, whether it is acid or base? Blue litmus to red. So acids that changes the blue litmus to red color, right? Blue litmus to red color. These are the acid substance. Then if you are taking the basic substance, if you are putting the red litmus, there will be changes to color to red to blue color. They are known as the bases. So we can define by using the litmus paper whether it is acid or base, right? Then what about the case of methyl orange? Methyl orange is again an acid base indicator, right? Then in the case of acid medium, they are red in color. In basic medium, they are yellow in color. And the last one is the phenolphthalein, right? Phenolphthalein, we know that in the case of acidic solution, they are colorless. And for basic solution, they are pink in color, right? So that we can identify acid or base substance depending upon the indicators used, whether methyl orange or phenolphthalein, or using the litmus paper. If pH is 10, whether it is belongs to 7 to 14 or 1 to 7. So we have already defined the acid, base and salt, acid, base and neutral substance depending upon the pH value, right? If you are having the pH is less than 7, that will belongs to acidic substance. If pH is equal to 7, that will be neutral substance. If pH is greater than 7, that will be belongs to basic substance, right? So if the pH is 10, which means greater than 7, that will belongs to base substance. Is that clear? Okay, I hope it is clear, right? The next one is the application based questions. Many times they will be asking about the reasoning type question. So you can expect this type of question. Okay, strong acid is like H2SO4, I mean sulfuric acid or the hydrochloric acid, and weak acids are like acetic acid. Clear? And there is a reasoning question for you. Why salts like ammonium chloride are acidic while sodium carbonate is basic? What will be the reason behind that? So how we can define the nature of a salt depending upon the acid and base formed? So let's say whether the question is for 3 marks or 4 marks, how we can answer the question. First you need to identify the parent salt, I mean parent base as well as parent salt, parent base as well as acid for the salt, right? So this is our ammonium chloride, NH4Cl, right? NH4Cl is the chemical formula of ammonium chloride. Now how we can find out their parent acid and parent base? First you need to break down this into cation and anion, right? So this is NH4 plus and Cl minus. So I'm adding water molecule as H plus and OH minus, right? So just crisscross, you will be getting the parent acid as well as parent base, right? So what you are getting, these are coming from NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, and hydrochloric acid, right? Ammonium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid. And what is the nature of ammonium hydroxide? Whether it is a strong base or weak base? Ammonium hydroxide. So ammonium hydroxide is a strong base, right? Sorry, there is a small correction. Ammonium hydroxide is a weak base and hydrochloric acid is a strong acid, right? So if you are doing a neutralization reaction with strong acid as well as the weak base, the resulting salt will be having the acidic nature. Is that clear? Is there any doubt? Ankit, we have already mentioned the formula of plaster of Paris, right? POP is equal to CaSO4 dot half H2O. I hope you understand. Then what about the case of next one, sodium carbonate? You need to identify the parent acid as well as parent base for the sodium carbonate. So if I am writing here, sodium carbonate means Na2CO3, right? So if you are breaking down over here, it will be forming H2CO3, right? Carbonic acid H2CO3 plus NaOH. So what is the nature of this acid and base? I hope you understand how to find out the parent acid and parent base, right? First you need to take the Rimjin, there is a correction. The chemical formula of sodium carbonate is Na2CO3, not NaCO3. Okay, gypsum is CaSO4.2H2O. So these are the parent acid and parent base of the Na2CO3. So we know that this is a weak acid, right? Carbonic acid is a weak acid and NaOH is a strong base. So if you are combining strong base and weak acid together, they will be resulting in the formation of basic salt. So that's why sodium carbonate is basic in nature. Is there any doubt? Okay, then what about the next question? Why stomach pain is relieved by antacids? This is again recent type question. So we know that in our stomach there is an acid is present, that is our hydrochloric acid. So if you are not eating more time, there will be producing the more acid over there, right? So stomach will become more acidic in nature. So in order to relieve that indigestion of the pain, we will be adding the antacids which will be containing most commonly bases. Most commonly it will be magnesium hydroxide. So you can give the answer accordingly depending upon the marks, whether it is 2 marks, 3 marks or so on. I hope you understand. And there is a scoring tip for the complete chapter. I have already mentioned that many times they will be asking about the definition for acid, base and salt. Then they will be giving about the equations, right? Chemical equations of the chemical reactions, right? So what we need to do, you need to memorize the standard reactions. So acid and base combine together to form salt and water, right? Then what about the case of acid and metal? It will be combined together to form salt and hydrogen. Then what about the case of acid and carbonate or bicarbonate? They will be forming salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. And again salt plus salts per carbon dioxide plus water, right? Clear? These are the general equations you need to memorize for the examination. The next tip is you need to identify the pH scale shortcuts, right? If pH is equal to 7, that will be neutral substance. If pH is equal to less than 7, that is acidic. If pH is greater than 7, that is basic. This is the basic idea about the pH value. Then keep a simple list of the common substances like blood. Blood is having the pH of 7.4. Milk is having the pH of 6.6. Lemon juice is having the pH of 2. And NaOH is having the pH of 13, right? A proper table is given in your textbook, just refer from there. You must have a proper idea about the pH of the common examples given there. The next one is the salt uses and equations, right? Most common salts are given here, sodium chloride or the common salt. Then sodium bicarbonate, sodium carbonate, right? This is the first one is the baking soda and second one is the washing soda and this one is the plaster of Paris. So you must have a proper idea about at least one line chemical equation for each preparation of the salt. Is there any doubt? So this is all about the repeated topics from the acid, base and salts chapter. We have already completed the chapter. I am repeating again, definition of acid, base and salts are very important. Then about the indicators, right? Methyl, orange, phenolphthalein and the common indicators. Litmus paper is also very important. Then the chemical reactions of the acids with metal, base, carbonate and bicarbonate and so on. Then the last one is about the pH value and the common salts and their equations, uses and equations. Rimji, is there any doubt? So I hope you understand. So this chapter is very important. So we have already completed the complete chapter for the acid, base and salt. Repeating again, definitions are very important. You can expect more. Okay, you can expect more reasoning type questions just like here. Okay, just like this type of question, especially for the stomach pain. I mean, stomach pain is relieved by the antacids and the nature of the salt depending upon the parent acid and base. And tooth decay, right? Tooth decay is also we have studied. Okay, I think this is all about from my side for today. If you have any doubt, you can ask. So this chapter is very important. You can expect more questions from the direct question from the NCERT. Sarida, we have already completed PYQs for this chapter. It's already recorded there. You can just refer. Okay, there is a gentle reminder about the score examination. We have already know about the score examination, right? So it will be conducting on the September 20th. So before September 26th, you need to register for the examination. So link will be provided in the description. You need to register for the examination. I hope you have already registered for the examination. If not, just register just now. PYQs we have already completed for the chapter. And notes are already provided in the Telegram channel. So you need to join our Telegram channel, Infinity Learn 9 Telegram channel. So you will be getting all the session PDF after all the classes there. Then anything else? Okay, then I hope you guys enjoyed the session. If you really like the session, hit the like button, subscribe our channel and share this session to your friends also. That will be really helpful for them also. So in the next class, I will be coming back with the next chapter, metals and non-metals with their repeated topics. So before coming to the class, just revise all the topics you have studied in the concept classes. Okay, then thank you so much all of you. See you in the next class. Bye-bye.